As you guys can see, we are out here working on the O2 Ford today. And so Dane is working on doing some fluids and things. And I am going to start working on this headlight project here, since the headlights are quite yellowed. So let me turn around and show you what they look like here. So you know what we're starting with, and I've never actually done a headlight restore before. So I read some good reviews about this guy online. And so I'm going to try doing that today and see how it turns out. We're going to start with the step 1, and if we need to go to the step 2 process, we will. We're going to show you everything along the way in case you need to do this yourself, but let's show you the headlights. You can see like the turn signal ones have clearly been replaced before, so they are not bad. But if you can see here, this is very yellowed compared to that. So we're going to see how close we can get it to that one, and the other one for reference is the same. So they must have had something where they replaced this and didn't do these because these were still functioning. So we are going to start working on this with step 1, and I will take you step by step and we will see how it looks as we go. But I gotta go get my drill and all the things I need. I was able to buy this product at Autozone, and so as you can see, it's got some instructions on the back. So according to the box, we're supposed to start with this set of instructions. And if we need to move to the inside instructions for more restoration, then we can. So I'm gonna pull out what I need, which for this process, they do have ones without a drill, but this one requires a drill. So I've got our little rigid here that's gonna help us do the whole process. So we gotta take our stuff here and put it on this polishing pad that it includes. So in the kit, you get these, and this will attach to this piece here that goes onto the drill. So that's the first step. It says to prep it, and so we're gonna prep it with that. And so I'm just gonna put these guys on and put them onto my drill and go from there. Turning it the right way helps too. Okay. Using the lowest setting on the drill. And it says on the box, so it says if we're going to move on to the next section to prep the area with some tape. So we'll see what happens with that. But we're going to put a 1-inch strip onto our ball. I'm going to put the, 1-inch strip, which apparently it likes to come out, so I used a little more. So I'm gonna, because I know things like to sling, I'm gonna dab it. Well, that is looking better already. I have done this process now 3 times on this light, and it is looking pretty good. I feel like I can get it better. So I am going to do the secondary process on it because it looks so good now. So I am going to finish this 1-step process on the other side just to make sure that they're equal, and then I will continue on with these processes in the box to make it look even better. Where we are after step 1 on the outside of the box. They look pretty good, but I think I can get them better. So I will try to do the other process, but as you can see, they're like way better than they were. And so I think if I do the rest of it, I should be able to clean up some of this, but they look so much closer to the other ones at this point that if you wanted to stop here, you totally could. And knowing that these are the original headlights that are in here, they cleaned up pretty good so far. So I'm very impressed with this product. So if you're wondering if you should buy it, I think it's worth the money so far. I'm pretty impressed. So I have masked off the entire light since we're going to move on to the inside box process. Now, if you're happy with this, you can stop here. The coloration is still a little bit different. This one's still a little more yellow, but this makes it a whole lot better. So if you're short on time, just do the outside box process because it does seem to do wonders. Now, because I have some time and I want to see if I can get it better, I'm going to start with their sanding discs. So these sanding discs go on and you're supposed to do wet sanding, and we're going to walk through and we're going to work through on this light here to see how it does. And if I like the process, I will continue on the other one. If I don't know much the difference, then I'll just leave the other one. So that is what we're going to do. I'm going to get this on my drill and then wet the light down and start sanding. So as you're doing this process, you're going to want to double check and see where you're missing. So that'll tell you kind of where you need to put a little bit, because it should be an equal haze all the way across. And so I can see that I need to kind of work in this area a little more, and of course down in there because I haven't hit that yet. You guys can see here my light is now pretty hazy all throughout and pretty even. So then I will be able to move on to the next step. Light, nice and hazy with the 800. We are now moving on to the 1500, and we will do the same process, ensuring it is even throughout. So more sanding, here we go. So we're gonna wet her down. Now we're moving on to the 3000 grit process, which we do dry. So you want to make sure the lens is completely dry when you do this part. And we're going to go through it. It should be evenly hazy throughout when we're done. And then we will move on to the last step. So here we go. Let's see. So that looks pretty even. So I'm going to move on to the final step now. We're back to the final process, which is buffing it. And so we're going to buff out this light, and you can already see how much better it is. It looks way more even. So let's buff this out and see what it looks like. I have finished doing both sides, and so I'm going to show you what they look like now. Now, they're not perfect, but that's not the point of this. They're better. So if you want 100% perfect lights, you're probably going to have to spend a lot of time on it, or just replace them. You're probably better off replacing if they're really, really bad. But I will show you what we did and how much better they are. I would say for us, it was definitely worth going step 2 because it got a lot of that yellow off of there. So definitely step 2 if you have a bunch of yellowing. But yeah, let me turn it around because I think they turned out pretty good. So as you can see here, this is the passenger light. This is the light that has obviously been replaced before, but it is pretty close. It looks like this light may be, if I was to guess, that this would be 5 years older than this one now that it's been refinished. But you can see the yellowing is completely gone. Is it picture perfect? No. But is it gonna function a lot better? Yes. So let's show the other side. And this side was the one that wasn't cracked and actually turned out a little bit better than the other side because we didn't have as much weather pitting on this side for some reason. So I would say that I'm pretty pleased with how it worked.